My name is Charles Kell, Assistant Professor of English at CCRI. I recently had the extreme pleasure of interacting with Professor Clement's class, who read and engaged with a number of poems from my book, Cage of Lit Glass, a book that deals with various forms of trouble, incarceration, family strife, and drug use, as well as balancing many moments of lightness when engaging with writers such as Kafka, Cervantes, Beckett, etc. I was really blown away by the students' readings, interpretations, and just their engagement with the poems, many of which I've never heard read before out loud, and I found surreal, fascinating, and I've listened to them over and over. So I can't thank Professor Clement and his wonderful class, who did an amazing job, enough. It was really a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to doing more things like this in the future.
Judge said last time I skipped bail, but it was a lie. Labeled flight risk, among many other things. Say, is the sky behind me still? Pretty, the way snow falls, then rests on the barbed wire fence. Shallow, breath of others next to me. Rhapsody of locks, steps in time. You spoke of needing me once, asking if I would come. And I did. Car sped through 9 hours of ice. I need you now. They want to put me somewhere I don't want to go. Thank you.
The only job is sweeping dirt over empty streets. I left my keys there, wanted a drink, and was handed a glass of rocks. The women carry sick birds in paper bags. The men are scarecrows with ragged clothes. I wanted a room and was pointed towards a broom closet. There is no white paper. I must write on the back of stolen, burnt bark. No one eats meat. There isn't any. A cold, thick paste is leavened into bowls twice a day. My body is growing used to it. The sky is always gray. I could tell you, in past and present tense, about the bathing hole, how we slather our bodies with fetid mud to ward off insects. My skin grows hard. I am seeing things, figuring things out. The world is nothing. We sit at a rickety table, our small bowls in front, waiting. Thank you.
It took everything to move it in. Sideways, on a wheeled cart. Dead now, Steve holding the thing steady while I carried it, pulled it in the corner myself. Mother was proud. One broken leg out of tune. No one knew how to play. After I was released from Glen Bay, I sat on the stool in the summer, plucking the beginning of a Joplin rag tune Tony showed me while I was away. It made me think of Kate and me walking in the park, the ice cream truck driving by, looking at each other. She drove away in the middle of winter, from our small rented house in Toledo, Ohio. Tears and snow, silver Pontiac Sunfire driving slow over ice on the turnpike back to Warren. We were going to give it away, donate it. It cost more to tune than what my mother paid. I pressed a white key down. It didn't make a sound. Thank you.
Unplug it from the wall, then quickly back in. The phone rings. I'm attached, plugged in while the wall seems to move. 32 steps. The phone rings. I quickly plug it back in again. It senses through my skin. I hold the bottle over Mother's head, ready to strike, but instead hit mine over and again until blood runs down. Next morning, I unplug it. Mother drives me to turn it in, and I am gone. not to be seen for a long time. Thank you very much.
Waits in the recovery room in Northeast Ohio while sick. Lake Erie, froth damps onto the burnt edges of the city. I poured him a glass of scorpions, kept the mirror notes written. Transcandal blue birds, naked astero. Told the truth lie while I left running. That one night while the red lights chased you down the alley. I was running with you, not from you. See, I meant to say I tried to call you. To give up. Pour the last bottle down a blue drain. There's the final cup. The glued hole in the wall filing with shadow. The last pain felt. You, no longer you.
Built, torn down, then built again. A small stone structure in the middle of this snowy wasteland, where we met and sucked cold air into our smoke-burnt lungs. Colder autumn. Tractor cap off, and rag dipped into gas to start a small fire. Your scarf was wet and smelled like a mix of cinnamon and piss. Dragging your nails across my lower back, zeroing in on what the mind empties out. I took you there. All evidence against. Still remember? Cold, no longer cold. Red house, far up the road. Wrecked nausea, a little money, took away. 2 sheets tied together, red too. Dressed flat and ripped. My arms scraped raw by the almost frozen thorns, poking through the dirt into our skin. Thank you.
You don't really know what is happening. I want you to batch my face and until unrecognizable. My teeth lie on the ice and blood pours into the crack of the sidewalk. We hear the snow fall on our roof. It's cold and cup. I can will sickness away by concentrating on a certain crack in the corner of the kitchen ceiling. When I turn 18 again, I will join the Marines in order to go AWOL. Peel off my burning skin and run into the wood. Build a fire and sleep with my eyes open. And when they come for me, I'll be waiting. I'll bite the first man who grabs me. My teeth will make a sound like a bomb until all run away and I'm alone. Wild. Thank you.
Recall a bottle on the table by the window. Later running sweaty in the wood. Heels bleeding through brown leather shoes. If I could taste your cold elixir rush down my throat once again. Dear Kay, the cracked city street has a name. You can whisper. Dark corners go through anything to feel. The boy called night is advancing. Green serpent coils with a mouth of stone. Burnt plastic smoke scalds fingers and lung. Words you write when your shadow arrives. I sleep in the library, head pressed in a French poet's biography. I laid cinder straight in a station basement with electric trains whipped by as my open mouth hummed the White Cell Sonata. There was always more time. The autumn fields were set to fire, to warm the dying as they rose. I read in a book, give this note an open home. Give the sparkling dots behind closed eyes names of old friends. Move slow through the stillness. No longer caress the small dells à la voix. Starve the animal inside a little at a time. Think of torn feet running over dry leaves, twigs hunched over in a different city, loose stone, rubble. Played scars, kisterized on bare backs, sewing a torn sleeve in a midnight needle. Sewing slivers of mirror on spotted cotton, petting blood blisters with strands of brown hair, the aluminum foil overhead, bells ringing somewhere, soft sound of sirens. Thank you.